Good morning, YouTube. Gabe coming back at you with another trucking vlog. So today we're going to go ahead and do a PM on the truck. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how I do a PM. And one of my previous videos I had mentioned that whenever I do a PM, I take advantage, and that's when I really check the truck. So this is one of those times I'm going to tell you what I look at, and just look for problems that may arise and try to get them fixed before they become a problem. But there is a little bit of a problem right now. Look at the weather. It is super cloudy. It's not super cold, but kind of cold. So I'm gonna go get some filters for the truck. I thought I had some in my stockpile, but I don't. So I need to get some new ones, and then we'll start the process up. Catch you guys in a bit.
Share, subscribe.
So I got my alternator rebuilt. The bearings had seized on them, so they put new bearings, and now we have an extra one in case my other one fails out. Just trying to stay prepared. Got it done right here at Coronado Electric in El Paso. All right guys, so we're here in the truck. So the very first thing that I start doing is I'll start checking wheel seals just from the outside to see if we're leaking anything. That one looks good. We'll check our hub oil. I know you really can't probably pick it up at the camera or whatever, but she's full. We'll check tire pressures. We'll check all our clamps. Just pretty much give it a visual inspection. See if anything is leaking, see if you can hear any air leaks or whatnot. Everything looks pretty good. We're looking good on our antifreeze. I'm not going to check the oil. I know the oil's good, and we're going to do an oil change right now anyway. So passenger side, yep, and pretty much just give it a little visual inspection. See if there's any hoses that are leaking, any clamps, any antifreeze. Just give it a general well check. When you're doing your PM, this is when I take advantage of just pretty much just looking around and scanning the eyeballs and see if we see anything. I know that, I think it was that tire over there. I think I have a bad valve stem, but like I said, just give it a visual on everything and see how she's doing. We got our tires. I'll put pressure gauges on it. The main thing is when you get underneath it and you start actually checking everything. So I know at this tire right here, you can even hear it. I know that my valve stem was leaking. That bad boy right there. So we're gonna change our oil. Let's get that bad boy in there. So now we're under here. The truck. I'm like backed into a corner over here and stuff, the things you gotta do sometimes. So we're gonna go ahead and get those filters off. I already had preset everything down here, because there's not that much space and stuff. But the very first thing I do is I loosen these bad boys up so that we're good to go on it. Sometimes doing this stuff, yes, it does take my time when I'm at home or whatever, but on average, an average oil change right now, you know, if you go to the TA or Beeline or, you know, wherever you guys do your oil change, it's about, you know, I think like in the 500s right now to change your oil. There we go. And, you know, I'm roughly like right around probably maybe like $340 with filters and everything. But that's using T6 Rotella full synthetic oil, you know? So not only do I save money, but I'm actually putting good oil in it, you know? Because if I were to use that same oil and have somebody do it for me, like you're talking about like a $800 oil change. And well, with the way everything is expensive now in these days, you know, that's not really a viable option. It's too expensive. So, you know, not only do I do it to save money, but I do it mainly because it gives you a chance to be down here and actually visually look at everything, and you'll notice more things because the places where you take it to, they're just gonna change the oil and that's it. You know, drop the oil, grease it, and that's it. When you're down here greasing and everything, that's when you can actually visualize everything. Because at the end of the day, it costs us money. You know, they don't care if your truck breaks down or whatever. Like, they're just gonna change the oil and that's it. You know, so like it's to your best interest, you know. So usually what I'll do is I'll just puncture a hole on this in the bottom and let it drain out, just so it doesn't make a super big ass mess. Come on. I know I'm not using a hammer guy, but I couldn't find it right now, so I got the next best thing. Come on. Get in there. You know, there is one thing that I do miss about when I wasn't doing YouTube. You know, usually when I would be doing these oil changes or whatever, you know, I would have the jams going, you know, some Metallica or, you know, Led Zeppelin on or something, you know what I mean? But because of copyright, well, I really can't do that, you know? So I'm here just talking to you guys. So that's probably why I talk a lot, you know, just to get rid of the dead air, you know? But that's the only thing I do miss about when I wasn't doing YouTube. You know, I would have my jams going while I'm doing this stuff, but you really can't do that because of the copyright and all that stuff. So all right, so now we're just gonna let this thing drain, and then once it drains, we'll take them off, fill up the other ones, and then we good to go. You know what I mean? So let's just wait. There you go. There you go. Look at that black ass, super black oil right there, man. Damn. Oh, man. The greatest thing about truck driving right here. I'm telling you. Sometimes it's just the real trucking life right here, guys. You know, this is the stuff you gotta do. Some people do it, some people don't. You know, some people will just pay somebody to do it, but I like to do it for number one reason, to save money. Like I told you guys, you know, my oil change, you know, I buy my oil. It just depends where, you know, sometimes I get it on eBay, sometimes I get it on Amazon, sometimes I get it at Sam's, just wherever I can get it the cheapest. I usually average right around about like $62, $63 for every 3 gallons. So, you know, right around $19-20 a gallon. And then I just stockpile it, you know. Before COVID hit, I had bought, I think, like 150 gallons. I think I spent maybe like $1,600. This was back like in 2019, like right early, like before COVID. And this is my last oil change that I have from that same oil. So I haven't bought oil for like, what is it now, 3-4 years or whatever. So it's worth it, you know, because when there was all that shortage, when you couldn't find that oil, that Rotella oil, you know, I had it there in stock. Like I didn't have to be worrying about, you know, if I can find it or not. So I'm going to probably do the same thing hopefully when I can. You know, this is going to be my last oil change that I have as far as, you know, supplies on hand. And once we get that done, then we'll be on the goods to go. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, you know, this is the reason why I do my own oil changes, you know, because it gives you a chance to look at everything down here, you know, down over here in the corner and stuff. But I got me this little new wireless mic. It allows me to use different modes on the camera thing that it wasn't letting me use before. So now you're gonna get some new, you know, instead of just having the camera facing forward, looking at what's going on, then you'll actually be able to see me too when I'm talking now. Because before, I would use my Bluetooth headset and it would get in the way and it would fall. But this little bad boy just clips on there, sounds pretty good, and it works really, really well. I'm actually going to do a review about it, you know, once I actually use it a little bit more. Right now, we're kind of just on test mode, you know what I mean? Yeah, you know, it's cool because I'm able to use like a lot of different modes now that I wasn't able to before. Because like for me to use the Bluetooth headset, I had to use the Pro mode, but it doesn't let me do the, you know, the dual camera thing like I can do it now, you know, because this one is with the USB. It'll just use the USB one. So that's pretty neat. So just waiting for this thing to get down. I got so much to do, guys. Golly, man, you just have no idea, you know. It's always something with these trucks, you know, like, you know, right now it's just maintenance, thankfully, you know. But you know, this is the life of an owner operator for the most part. You know, I would probably say that in today's trucking market, the way it is, I would probably have to take a guess that more owner ops are probably doing their own maintenance right now, just because it's super expensive, you know, to have somebody do it for you right now, you know. And man, I forgot to get a little bit of a towel so that I can wipe my hands. But yeah, you know, everybody's just hurting on money right now. And, you know, there's a lot of things that I have pending, you know, that I want to do, you know, that it's, you know, like it hasn't become mission critical, but, you know, it can become mission critical to where it's like it won't run no more. It being the injectors of anybody of you guys that actually have been following my channel. If you haven't yet, subscribe. Hit that subscribe button right now. Hit it. Help me get monetized. You know? Doesn't cost nothing. All you gotta do is just click on it. It's for free. Hell, even if it is to tell me that my videos suck, or if they're cool, or they're too short. Get to the goddamn point, Gabe. Just tell me something. Subscribe. Hate on me. Any channel's got some haters? Send them over to my channel. It's all good to go. I could take it. Help a brother out. Doesn't cost nothing. There's a lot of people who say that they do, and a lot of people that say that they don't. I always pre-fill my filters, always, because when you turn the truck on, it's gonna grab oil from here, because all your oil is in your sump. You don't want to have a dry fill. I mean, this is probably like almost a gallon, and it has 2 of them. You know, so I always pre-fill them. I don't care what anybody says. A lot of people don't, you know, but you don't want to have no oil going through your bearings, even if it is for a couple of seconds, you know. On these older engines, usually you're pretty good about it. But let me tell you something about them new DD15 engines and X15s and whatever. But, you know, I usually know the DD15 a little bit more than the Cummins or whatever. It doesn't take long, guys. You know, I've seen trucks before at the shop that, you know, it only ran maybe like 30 seconds with no oil, and it destroyed the bearings. You know, these bearings are like thousands and thousands of an inch, like thinner than a human hair around the, you know, around the what is it, circumference or whatever it is. You know what I'm talking about. But it's not a lot of clearance, you know, so when you don't have your oil in there, you know, even if it is for a couple of seconds, you know, you don't want to take the chance of messing it up. So I always pre-fill my filters with my oil. And then we're good to go. Okay. You want to make sure, I know it's something dumb, and a lot of you guys that are mechanics and have worked on your own truck are probably thinking like, well, duh, that's the obvious, but make sure you take this plastic thing off from the top. I actually had a friend that went to the shop that I used destroy the engine because they did an oil change at the TA, and the guy forgot to take the wrapper off. So it's still screwed in, but the part, let me show you, it'll be easier if I show you guys. Let me see here. So this part right here is where your oil goes into. So when you're gonna fill your filter, fill it up from here and it'll go to the center, because oil pressure goes in through here and it sucks it through there. Well, the guy who put it on just screwed it on. So this part was screwed on, but this part where the oil would go through, he left the plastic on it so it wasn't getting no oil flow. Well, he only went down maybe about, what was it, man? Maybe like 5 miles down the road, his engine locked up right after a fresh, new, clean oil change. And then they still gave him crap, not wanting to pay for the repairs, even though they had just barely did the oil change. So that's another reason why I like doing my own stuff, because I know, you know, that it's done correctly. Like, you're visually seeing it right now. Like, I can say I did remove it. You know what I mean? Little things like that, guys, you know, because let's just say even if they do pay for it, they're only going to pay for the repairs. They're not going to pay for your downtime. You know, then you're going to have to go to court and all this stupid stuff. You know what I mean? It just becomes a problem, is what I'm saying. You know, that's just what I'm saying. So, you know, I do it for many reasons, you know, to save money, you know, to make sure that the stuff gets done correctly, you know, and mainly just to be able to check on the status of the truck. All right, we're gonna go ahead and fill up this next one. You know, for any of you guys that do watch the videos, like the full length, you know, I know that most of my videos have been fairly long. I just try to give you guys the actual life of an owner-operator on the road, you know what I mean? Like, this is the stuff that I have to go through, like it's legit, you know what I mean? Like I told you guys before, I do edit stuff out, but I'll just edit stuff out, like, you know, like if there's like a lot of wind or something, like in the microphone, like where you guys can't hear me, then I'll edit that out, you know. But for the most part, you know, I leave it cut and dry and raw, you know, like what you see is what you get, like that's what happened, you know. And you know, like sometimes, you know, the videos are long, you know, sometimes I do see that they're like 45 minutes or whatever, you know. But again, you know, I don't really have that many subscribers right now, so like it's hard to kind of pinpoint what people kind of want to watch, you know. So I'm kind of doing little tests here and there with different formats, you know, trying to just do shorter videos that gets more straight to the point, or I'll try to do a little short, you know, and see if maybe people want to watch the full video. But until I can actually get some feedback from people who are actually watching the videos, it's kind of hard for me to find like my actual format, you know, because I know that there's a lot of other YouTubers, you know, that do, you know, different type of stuff, you know, like cars or whatever. And a lot of people that are their subscribers, like they like the long stuff. Like they're like, the longer the better, you know. Can sit down and get some popcorn or whatever, you know, and just watch the video, you know. I mean, it's just, I just don't know right now, just because I haven't really gotten a whole bunch of feedback. But usually the trucking vlogs that I've seen other vloggers do, you know, I mean, it's just kind of like a mixed match of things, you know what I mean? Like some of them are long, some of them are short, but I would say that most of them are probably, you know, just they just do it and that's it, you know. Like whenever I start my videos up or whatever, whenever I start my videos up, it's not like, okay, well, I'm gonna make a 30-minute video of this. Like at the end of the day, like I don't know how long this thing's gonna be, like until I actually edit it, you know what I mean? Like I just pretty much film, and then once I edit, then that's when I can actually kind of gauge it on whether it's gonna be long or it's gonna be short or whatnot, you know. Like right now it's what, 17 minutes or whatever. So alrighty. Alright, good. We got that one. So on those, usually what I do, guys, is I'll do them hand tight, and then I'll do like another little quarter turn with the little wrench here. Like, you don't want to have them on super tight, because if you tighten these things up, like when you're gonna take them off again, they're gonna be like super tight, you know, to where you're gonna have to put a lot of beans into them, you know. But you don't also want to leave them loose, you know. That's good enough on that. All right. Come on. There we go. All right. So the next thing, guys, would normally be fuel filters, but I just replaced this one last week. And I replaced the one down there. I replaced the one down there. You guys can see right there in the top. But I'm not gonna replace them just because, you know, I just barely replaced them last week. So, but that would be normally the next thing, you know. But like I said, you know, it's just visually looking at everything, you know, making sure that there's no leaks, you know, all these hoses and everything are good, you know, and all that good deal. So the next thing's also gonna be, now we're gonna go ahead and do the greasing. I'm not gonna film it, guys, just because the grease gun is just too, it's just a pain in the ass, you know what I mean? Okay, guys. We're gonna go ahead and drain our oil. If you guys don't have one of these quick release things, you guys should get one, especially if you do your own oil changes or whatever, because look, it's closed, open, easy peasy. You don't gotta be taking off and then torquing stuff and everything, you know. It's pretty simple, pretty nice, and I really like it. So we're gonna let that drain out there for a minute, and I'll get back to you guys. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. That tool right there is pretty badass. Don't need no air compressor, nothing. We're gonna take off the tire right here so that we can change that valve stem out. No air compressor, no nothing. Just put the batteries in. And you're good to go in. You guys can see the air's coming out. This is where it was leaking. This rubber thing. See? It was leaking air through here. So I got this new one. All you do is just unscrew this, stick the thing on in there, tighten it back up, and that's it. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I'm not gonna show you guys how to do that. It's pretty simple, but a pain in the ass. I gotta let the air out. Then I gotta break the bead here. Just push this down somehow and get that out. Whew. Man, I got the blood pumping. Holy smokes. Golly, so we got that valve stem out. Let me show you guys the other one. Oh, if I had, there we go. Here's the other one. That's where it failed at. See how it's torn? So that's what was the problem, where my air pressure was leaking. So we got the new one on right now. You know, when you guys put these on, guys, they're gonna be straight. You could just get a wrench and just bend them a little bit to get them at the angle that way, you see? Here we go. I'm building up my air pressure right there. So I'm right here in my cousin's yard. Special thanks to him for letting me park all these years here, letting me do mechanical stuff. It's a big, super big help. So if you're watching, cuz I appreciate you like you wouldn't believe. So we're gonna let that bad boy finish airing up, and then I'll bring you guys back. All right, so we got air pressure now. Hopefully our bead will seat. If not, spray a little bit of brake cleaner up in there, right here. Put some fire on it, and we'll make it take care. Let's see. Let's see. Yep. Taking there. Oh, she's definitely not. Come on. Come on. There we go. Taking air now? Yep, she's definitely taking air now. So since I don't have a cage to put the tire in, I usually always fill them up here. And I usually just put at least 2 of these bad boys on, just in case something happens where it blows up and it wants to throw the rim out. At least the rim is protected with these. Well, not protected. These are going to protect the rim from coming out and killing us, you know what I mean? So I'll usually just put 2 of them in there and just screw it in there, just in case something goes wrong. At least it's on the truck, you know what I mean? The tire will blow to pieces or whatever, but the rim won't come popping out. This thing hits you, you might not live another day. As you can see here, we got 110 PSI. There we go. If you want to test it, soapy water is the best. As you guys can see, there are no bubbles, so that means that we're good to go. Holy smokes. Woo. That puts a workout on you guys, golly. You know, some of you guys might be thinking like, Gabe, why don't you just pay the $35 to have a valve stem put on? You know what I mean? I know it's only 35 bucks or whatever, but you know, not only do I need to work my fat ass out, you know, I'm trying to lose some weight and get a little bit healthier, you know what I mean? Because trucking for years and years and years, just sitting down, not doing nothing, you know, ain't good for you, you know what I mean? So, you know, it gives me a little bit of exercise. It gives me something to do or whatever. It's something that I know how to do. And it saves me a little bit of money. I know it's only $35, guys, but, you know, I just share the experience that I have with you guys on how I manage my business and my owner-operator experience, you know, and it adds up, man. You know, $35 here, $100 there, $60 there, $80 now there. By the time you know it, at the end of the month, you know, it's $200,000, $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 or $2,000 or $3,000, or whoever knows how much it is, you know. So, you know, I know that sometimes, you know, and don't get me wrong, there is sometimes like if that valve stem I had to, it had messed up on me last week, so it was losing like about 10 psi or so every day. So I had to be putting air in it every day because I didn't want to do this in truck stop, you know what I mean? But if it had completely failed, let's just say like it's not holding no air, it's just coming out like really quick, then at that point I would have just taken it to a TA or whatever and have them change the valve stem, you know, because, you know, I'm under pressure, I'm under load and all that stuff, and I don't really want to mess with that stuff right now, you know what I mean? So I'm letting my batteries charge on my gun. That's what the other one, it wasn't struggling, it's just the batteries were low. I didn't charge them last time. So I'm letting them charge right now, and then we're gonna go ahead and put that bad boy back on. And then I'm gonna get underneath and grease it. And once I'm underneath there and finish greasing it up, I'll show you guys underneath my truck and just like what I personally look for. Again, guys, all this stuff that I tell you guys is just recommendations. I'm not telling you, I'm not a certified mechanic. It's just my own experience from doing it for many, many years, you know, and I think I'm pretty good at it, you know what I mean? I'm not, like I said, I'm not an expert, but I do know quite a bit. But it doesn't necessarily mean you have to do it that way. If you know a better way, or if you think I'm just crazy and I just don't know what I'm talking about, then just don't do it that way. You know what I mean? Like I said, I'm just sharing my experience, little tips here and there on what you guys can do to, you know, help your business out. That's pretty much what I'm doing and I'm saying. So I'll go ahead and let these bad boys charge up and put those tires back on. All right, guys. So we got full battery. Love this tool. Ugh. The only thing I don't really like about it is a little heavy, but even an air gun will be pretty heavy. You know, just pop your batteries in and go. That's it. You want to tighten these up, guys, in a crisscross pattern, like up, down, left, right. You know, like just like if you're drawing a star. That just gives it a better fitment. Now what I like about this gun right here is it's got these different settings on them. So you got your reverse, then I think that one's like 200 and something foot-pounds, and I think it's 450, then it's full power. I usually do them on the third setting first, just to seat them in there. Then once I go around it in full power. That's why it stops, because it stops at that torque. Holy smokes, that gives you guys a workout. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish tightening these bad boys up, guys, and I'll bring your bike. There it goes around. I'll bring you guys back. All right, now it's time to get that jack out of the way. If you guys can see here, guys, this is the reason why I do this. I'm in a dirt lot, so as you can see, that digged in there. If I would have just trusted the jack, look at the jack. Look at right there. See how it went down? So you don't want that dropping on the ground. That's the reason why I put my jack on there. So in case that dug in, you know, the truck don't slam onto the ground and stuff, you know? You know, I know sometimes, you know, the government and stuff like that, or certain individuals, you know, have this safety Kool-Aid. You know what I'm saying? You know, but, you know, and some of the things, it's just like, come on, you know what I mean? Like, whatever, you know what I mean? But there's certain things, you know, like, especially if you're going to be under the truck, you want to have good jack stands, guys. You know, like I told you guys this once before, where I had a friend where he had cheap jack stands from a certain particular place where even I buy parts at, which most of the time they're pretty good, you know? But for this particular case, it wasn't good, you know what I mean? And luckily he was able to get out underneath, you know, out of the truck underneath it. Sorry guys, I'm a little out of breath here. And he was able to get out on time to where it didn't slam on him, you know, because like if he would have been underneath it, like, you know, he would have been severely hurt, or, you know, he would have been dead. So you don't want to play with that. Let's go back up. All right, as you can see, it already released tension on this. Like, you want to get the right ones. Put it on here for you. The correct weighting. See, each one of these has a capacity of 44,000 pounds. Like, you don't want to go and get a cheap ass one and put your life on the line, you know? Because the last time I checked, guys, unless you guys don't know, which I'm sure you do, you only get one life. So you want to protect it as much as possible. So now let's go ahead and just let it go down. All right. And that's that. Here's something that I will share with you guys. This thing, guys, is the bomb. This is what I used to grease my truck with. Just put one of those tubes of grease in here. It's battery operated. Very, very, very good. It means that manual pump thing kind of sucks a dick, you know what I mean? So it's just awesome, you know? See, we got charge. And we got enough charge. We got 2 bars on there. But this thing is pretty sweet, guys. I've had this same battery, same charger, and same machine for 10 years. And all those 10 years that I've been doing, you know, owner-operator, I've done every single PM on this truck. This is what greases my truck. It's lasted 10 years, guys. Very, very good. I'm not sponsored by any products that I show you guys. I wish I was. It would be nice to be making some money. But if, for whatever reason I ever get to a point where I do get sponsored, you know, by a product or whatever, I will only recommend things that I would use and that I like. If I think it's good quality and it works real well, then we'll go ahead and do it. If I think it's a shitty product, even if I'm getting paid, I'm not going to tell you guys and sponsor you guys and be like these fake YouTubers out here. Oh, go ahead and try this thing out. It's the bomb. It's the best. You'll never have to buy another one, like all this crap, just because they're getting paid, you know? Like, I'm not going to be a buyout like that. If I think the product is good, then I'll give a review on it. You guys have seen me use multiple tools here in this channel already, and I talk good about them. And the reason why I talk good about them is because you've seen me before. I use them and they do the job. They work really, really well. So just wanted to point that little thing out there. My channel is super small right now. I think I got what, like 33 subscribers as of today. So if you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button right now. Hook a brother up. Catch you guys right now. All right, guys, so we're underneath the truck. So here's a couple of things I check. You know, first and foremost, making sure that nothing is leaking, right? On the engine side, I already showed you guys what I check. You know, right here in the transmission, guys, I mean, these bolts technically should not come out, but, you know, just give it an eye over, you know? There's a couple of transmissions I've seen in the past where this separates and it destroys everything, you know what I mean? You know, check your U-joints. Put pressure and move it around. It shouldn't move around. Make sure that those straps are good to go. Make sure all your clamps are in order. Make sure everything is tied up. You know, I like to tie everything up with my zip ties, so you guys know it. Make sure everything's nice and neat. You know, those are the APU wires. You know, if this doesn't hold it, it'll drag on the ground and it'll destroy it. Everything, you know, just make sure nothing is rubbing. You know, make sure when you're underneath here, you'll be able to hear if anything is leaking. You know, I replaced that bad boy out and that one over there on the last video. Or I'm not sure if I put it in a video, but nevertheless, I changed it out. You know what I mean? So, you know, here's my fuel tanks. You know, you want to make sure none of these fittings are leaking. And that one either. You know what I mean? Your carrier bearing, you know, very, very important. This piece falls off, your drive shaft will be spinning in circles and it'll destroy everything in your truck. You know, make sure that that bolt is on there. Make sure that that bolt is on there. Make sure that, you know, it's not moving. Like whenever you put pressure to try to move it, make sure it's not moving, you know, and you just kind of go down the line, guys, you know. I have everything zip tied, you know, all that stuff, all that crud that you see right there is just the grease that splatters around, you know. Then when you go up here, over here to your brakes, you know, make sure your lines are not touching. That's what these things are for, you know. Make sure everything's nice tight. You know, I like to do things like this. Like these wires from factory used to rub on here. So I just got a piece of hose and cut a piece of hose and put it so that when it moves, it's not going to rub on your airlines and mess them up. You know what I mean? Make sure that your wheel seals are not leaking. You know, you can get a flashlight, put it in there and you'll be able to see if the seal's leaking. But the very first indicator is that all this stuff will be wet with oil, you know. And just, again, you know, you want to make sure your pinion seal's not leaking. You know, check all your wheel seals and all that stuff. But in a nutshell, guys, that's pretty much the way I check my truck. You know, when you're underneath, that's why I say doing a PM service, it's kind of like a big good pre-trip. You know, this is like your in-depth pre-trip that you're able to get going, because you're able to check everything because you're already under here. You know, look at how low my APU sits. I do not like that, but that was the only place that they could put it. Stuff's hidden it in the past before, and it's not fun. Let me tell you. There's our DPF filter, which has been working good now. And like I said, you know, just get under there and check all those wires. You know, I like to have everything organized, and you know, those zip ties really do the trick. But that's pretty much it on this much. You know what I mean? Just check all this stuff out. All right, guys, so I'm gonna go ahead and end this video here. But yeah, in a nutshell, guys, this is what I mean by doing a good pre-trip, and this is the reason why I do a good pre-trip while I'm doing my PM service, because it gives you a chance to check, wires, hoses, air fittings. You just give it a good general check. I've probably been at this out right now for about a good 3-4 hours. And that's what I mean by doing a good pre-trip. If anybody didn't see that previous video on pre-trips and stuff like that, check it out. You know what I mean? They're all on my vlogs right there, and this is what I mean by doing a good pre-trip. You can't do this every single day. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hours. Forget about it. You won't make money. You'll run your clock down. But like I said, this is what I like to do when I'm doing my preventative maintenance. As far as maintenance comes into concern, like I like to be able to save the money, by doing the oil change and everything myself, putting good quality oil on there. And it just gives you I'm trying to think here, but I have 10 million things in my mind. It just gives you a better picture of how your truck's doing, and you can do something about it because you're at home. But anyhow, guys, this thing's about to die. So I want to thank you for watching the video. Like, share, subscribe, comment. Tell me what you think. Tell me any new ideas or whatever. But I appreciate you guys. Catch you guys in the next one.
You know.